clay chooses you in a very mysterious way. You know, you can't explain why you keep coming back to it, but you start to see that clay isn't a singular material. It's several materials that have to come together to make this kind of general chemical equation. By changing just a little bit of the recipe, you can go from an earthenware to a stoneware to a porcelain, change it a little more, and now you have glaze. I'm Chotsani Elaine Dean, and I'm an artist in the Kohler Arts Industry Residency. The Arts Industry Residency has both evolved and confirmed a lot of ways in which I think about clay. In the pottery residency, we're kind of the synthesis of everything that's happening on this like grand compound. So that's an interesting dynamic, you know, that we're kind of doing this jack of all trades, surrounded by people who are so expert in each area that they're working in. I think if I were to define a trading post, I would have no project. Part of the idea of a trading post is a constant inquiry about it. I'm from an ancestry of people who were traded. So I'm just taking those ideas of what it means to be in relationship, to trade, and really understand what a value is in an object. How do you determine the value of what you're exchanging? How do you communicate that? I do feel objects have something in them, you know, so it's important to me that the objects have some kind of authentic purpose that I'm pouring into them. And I spend time with the land and the flowers and things that are beautiful to participate in that and not think that everything has to be justified because it has an obvious and easy to digest use value. And I spend time at this garden and tend to it, which is similar to clay. You know, you need a lot of things to witness the transformation of the material. And I've had this love affair with flowers. I had no idea how it would work itself into my clay, but having it around me, it just eventually became no different than having a brush in the studio or a glaze or a hammer. And so then with the Clorox bottle, I have had this bottle for like 20 years. But I'd have to say this is the first time in my work that current events have impacted me so much, you know. Especially we've all had this collective trauma of the pandemic. And we had a bleach shortage. And then here in America realizing so much of history has been kind of overlooked. It's kind of like at a crime scene, you put that blue light up. Even though someone bleached it, you can now still see the stains. So it took a long time. But now this object is speaking to me differently than when I kind of first picked it up. Clay has a diversity and a spectrum that you can spend a lifetime and scratch the surface barely. And I guess without knowing it, I made the commitment to clay.